Hey guys, what's going on? It's Brian, also known as OCD Mindful, back again. 2 videos in 2 days. I've got some free time on my hands over the last couple weeks, so wanted to make sort of a generic video today. This is a question that came up recently, is how to explain to people that don't have OCD what OCD feels like. This is a good question, and it's a hard question, and I think after all this time of having years where I didn't have OCD, and then a period where I had really bad OCD, and now where I don't really get OCD feelings anymore, I'm in a position where I can say, I don't know if there's an experience that you can relate this to for people that don't have OCD. I think it's a uniquely personal experience to people who have OCD, but we can get close. So there was a drill that both Harold Kirby and John Grayson did when I was working with them. One of them obviously learned it from the other. I don't know who, but at one point I brought my parents in to my sessions because they wanted to know. They wanted to know, what is this thing that's going on? And it was hard for me to describe it. There's an easy way to describe it now, is you could just have them go online and read an article from a reputable source about what OCD is. It still doesn't get to how it feels for us personally, but the drill that they did, one time they did it with my parents, another time I brought my girlfriend in, and the same drill was done with her. And the drill was this. They had my parents write down the name of someone who they really loved and cared about on a little piece of paper. And underneath that, they said, now write, I hope they have a horrible, excruciating, painful death. And there may have even been some more explicit details in there to really nail it home. But that was the idea. And then to fold up the piece of paper and put it in either your wallet or your pocketbook and say, now carry that around with you for the next, whatever week or month or forever. And generally the person will feel some real resistance to doing that. To be honest with you, as much as I love both of those guys, I don't think that I don't think that even gets close. Okay, you could have me do the exact same drill as someone who does suffer with OCD, but I don't have harm OCD. That little drill, I might feel slightly uncomfortable doing it, doesn't even come close to what I was actually feeling during a spike. Okay, Steve Phillipson gives a good example. I think I've probably mentioned this before. I think it was an old article of his, and it was, how do you explain to someone who doesn't have OCD what it feels like to have OCD? And the example he gave was, imagine on September 11th, 2001, you had a loved one that worked in one of the Twin Towers, and you saw on the news that there was this attack, and you were unable to get in touch with them. So for that amount of time after you had found out that there was an attack, and during all that time that you weren't able to get in touch with the person that you loved, that's similar to what it feels like, right? This sense of, I need to get certainty, I need to figure this out. There's real dread and real anxiety there. I think that's a really good example, but I still think it's missing a crucial part. And I think it's missing the part that's hardest for people with OCD, that is a unique experience to OCD. And that is, for most of us, the feeling that we are a different person. We've lost our identity. We've lost the things that we believe that we value or that we would like to value. All of that stuff gets robbed from us. So it's not just that we feel like we need to get certainty. It's not just that we're having anxiety. It's we've been robbed of our identity in those moments. It's like there's 2 competing people in your brain and in your body. And when the OCD is spiking, it feels very convincing that it's the other person, the thing, the OCD person you don't want it to be. You don't want that person to be winning. And so, I always described it as just a feeling of doom and gloom. Like when my spike was there, it wasn't just anxiety. There was just that heaviness of like the sky was falling and I was completely gone. So for someone who doesn't have OCD, you know, that's a good example, the one that Steve Phillipson used of September 11th. Basically, you realize something really bad happened and you don't have certainty that the thing that you care about most is safe or secure. Another way you might be able to describe this, most of us, at least if you're of age, have had an experience where we drink too much and maybe do a bunch of things that we regret, or we don't even remember, and we wake up in the morning and there's that sense of, oh my God, who am I? Or you even do remember something, or someone tells you something that you did, and you genuinely feel lost. Like you've lost your identity, you don't even know what you stand for. Is that really who I am deep down if I were to get drunk? And perhaps it doesn't even have to include alcohol. People even, if they're not drinking or whatever, can do things that they regret very badly, and they feel that sense of guilt and that sense of loss of what they value about themselves. So yeah, it's kind of a three-pronged thing. I think for me, at least, it was the intolerance of uncertainty, the feelings that accompanied that, but then also that feeling of loss of self. And so, yeah, if that helps, maybe that's one way you can describe it to people. If it helps you even sort of figure out that maybe what you're dealing with is OCD, and you want to reach out to a professional to get some help, who knows? Maybe that'll be helpful. Anyway, guys, I appreciate it as always. Thanks for all the comments. Thanks for all the emails. You can shoot me an email at ocdmindful@gmail.com, and I will catch up with y'all later.